Yo guys, welcome to the OFM Blueprint. Now, in this one today, I'm gonna pretty much show you the entire blueprint behind starting and scaling an OnlyFans management agency, which is obviously what I've been doing for the last 2 years, and I've been able to, reach multiple seven figures with this business alone at just the age of 22. So let's just dive straight in. Let's not waste any time and let's just get to it. So what you'll need before getting started, firstly, you're going to need a separate bank account. Now, you'll need a separate bank account that is only used for your business. Now, the reason is you want to keep your, personal finances separate from your business finances because it just makes everything easier, right? And now to obviously get a business bank account, the next thing you're going to need is obviously to set up a business. Now, these steps are not crucial, but this is my advice to you and what I would do if I was starting a business. Now, I understand in certain countries it can be very expensive to start a business. So depending on where you're from, check where, the countries where you're from, see how much it is to set up a business, see how much hassle it is. If you're in the UK like myself, it costs £12 and it's a super simple process of setting up the business. You can either do it with Tide or go to the government website. Really easy. And like I said, pretty much anyone can do it. Now, if you're in other countries, like I said, you'll have to check where you're at, and you might want to start making money first and just get stuff going. Once you're making money and there's income coming in and you're happy with how the business is going, then you can open a business. But my advice is get a business set up straight away, because not only is it going to be more beneficial for taxes, it's going to be easier to separate your business from your personal finances, but it's also, a lot safer, right? Now you're going to be signing contracts and all this sort of thing. And now let's just say, God forbid anything does go wrong. You are protected if someone was to sue you. Now they can't sue you personally if you have a business. Your business protects you. They can only sue the business. Therefore, it's another barrier that just protects you legally, right? So, if you can't open a business, then you can. Another thing you can do to keep your finances separate is just open up another personal account with another bank, and then you're sort of good to go, and you can just use your other personal as a business account, right? So you can do that in the meantime. Now, the last thing is a website. Now, a website, like, again, these steps are not crucial, but these are advisables, right? And this is what I would advise that you do before you start. Now, a website, you can go to somewhere like Fiverr to get somewhere done cheap, $100, $200, and just get it sorted on there. Or, if you know how to make a website yourself on Wix or Shopify, wherever it is that you want to use, then you can just do it yourself. Now, a website's just going to give you more social proof. And for a website, for inspiration, just go and look up other OnlyFans management agencies, go on Google search, and then just sort of mold a mixture of different websites into your own, right? Now, that being said, the topics that we're going to cover in today's video series, the OFM Blueprint, is setting up your agency. So, how do you actually get the setup, not just the basics of website, how do you actually get everything set up to where you need, like what software do you use and stuff, right? Then we're going to cover finding clients, because how do you actually, once you've got a business set up, you obviously need to know how to get clients. And then obviously you need to know how to onboard clients, which is the third thing we're going to talk about. Then you obviously want to know how do you actually get results for your clients. It's all well and good being able to find clients, sign them, onboard them. But then if you don't actually know how to get results and how to market and make money, then the business isn't a business, right? So we'll talk about making money with your agency, and then once we've done that and covered that, we'll talk about actually scaling your agency, right? Because once you're at a certain point, once you're bringing in 5-10k a month, you want to start to look to scale and outsource certain roles to make your life easier. And then before you know it, you've got a money printing machine and you're just on the beach sipping cocktails, watching money just print and fall from the sky, right? Now let's just get straight into it. So use some results first of a client that we took on. And this is just to sort of show you guys what is actually possible with this business. Once you know how to execute, you've got experience and you've got the right access to the right information and skills, right? So obviously we've been doing this for over 2 years now. So this is a result. Back in February, we took on a brand new client that was making around $300 a month by herself. As you can see here, February, she was doing $300 a month. Then obviously within just 2 months of working with us, we was able to take her from $300 a month to $78,000 profit in just 2 months. And we only used TikTok. We didn't use any other marketing strategies. We just simply used TikTok. Now, as you can see here, February, $300. March, she did 4K, which is the first month of working with us. It was a pretty decent first month. That's a pretty solid first month. And then after March, obviously April, and as you can see in April, from the 1st to the 30th, $74,000 net profit. She did $92,000 gross, and we take 60% of this particular client, right? So this business model is all about, leveraging influence, is all about, signing models to your agency, marketing them, getting results, and then taking a percentage of the profit. Now, when you're signing models that are only making $300 a month, it's a lot easier to get bigger percentages, like 60%, right? So we take 60% of this particular model, and within 2 months, we scaled it to $74,000 profit, and total, from March and April combined, $78,000 profit, right? And we take 60% of that. So, like I said, once you get to this level, which you can 100% achieve, then you're printing money, right? Pretty much you've got a money printer. Now, some 7-figure software, I like to call 7-figure software because these are the software that we use and we're doing 7 figures, and this is the best software that we've sort of, the key software that you will need to run your agency. Now, you're not going to need all this from the start, but this is just something to keep in mind. Now, Inflow is one of the first key softwares. Now, Inflow is it's pretty much a place to run all your OnlyFans creators in the same place. So rather than logging in and out of multiple OnlyFans accounts and, dealing with all that hassle of signing in, signing out, Inflow, it's pretty much like a CRM in a sense, but you can manage all of your staff, you can manage all of your creators all in one place, all using proxies, so they're all on the same network, so you don't have to worry about logging in and logging out from different places all the time. Because, an issue with OnlyFans is, if you're logging in from multiple different places all the time, different IPs, different addresses, then, that can get flagged and it's not very ideal, right? So Inflow is a perfect software to use. Now, with Inflow, you can use my affiliate link below, and that's going to get you on straight away, because with Inflow, there's a waiting list to actually get onto the platform to use it. If you go through my link, because I've got a deal with Inflow, if you go through my link, you can actually get accepted fast. And this isn't me affiliate marketing you. Like, I don't make shit from this, really. This is literally the best software. And if you ask anyone in the OnlyFans management space that knows what they're doing, I promise you that they will also recommend Inflow. We've been using this software for the last 6 months, and it is a game changer. It's relatively new, it's still in beta, but it is an absolute game changer. It has everything built in: analytics, tracking software, client portals, like everything. Like it's really, really good. Like, I can't stress that enough. It is a must-use software. Now, Calendly is the next one, which is going to be your appointment setting software. So Calendly is going to be the software that you use to send links to get the girls to book a call with you, so you can sell them and sign them up on that call, right? Typeform or Google Forms is going to be the next one. That's where you're going to have like all your onboarding documents, and your sort of questionnaires about this is where you're going to pretty much get the OnlyFans account details, if she has social media details, and just all that simple stuff, rather than plaguing her back and forth with annoying emails and texts of getting this password and this. Just make a nice form, put everything that you need from her in that form, and then once she's signed, you can send that as the onboarding form to it, right? The next thing is Canva. Now, Canva we just use to do little graphics, little cool like PDF style things for the models, whether it's like a TikTok guide or whatever it is. Canva comes in clutch, right? Canva's a graphic design software. Now, the next thing is Loom, which is what I'm using to record this. Now, Loom is a video recording software, and it records your screen and your face at the same time, or just your screen or just the face, however you want to do it. You can change it around with the settings, and you can pretty much make a Loom. And then what we use Loom for is to give our clients weekly updates. So every single week we'll look at the account. This is what we've done this week. Let's just say, Georgia, for example. Hey, Georgia, I'm just making this quick Loom. This is what we've done this week on your account. This is what we plan to do in the week coming, blah, blah, blah. And we'll just talk through the stuff. We need you to do X, Y, Z if you want to hit this target, and we'll just talk to them and give them weekly updates. And it's just more professional to just then send them the Loom, because it's literally this video gets put into a link, you send the link to them, and then they can watch the Loom in 1x, 1.5x, 2x, 2.5x speed, and then they know where they're at, they know where you're at, so you're not leaving clients in the dark. And communication is key in this business, right? The next thing is DocuSign. Now, DocuSign is what we use to actually sign the models. So we'll upload the contract in DocuSign, send that to the models, and then they'll sign, and then we're good to go, right? It's just way easier. It's just an e-signature, like online signature platform, right? There's a couple others like PandaDoc and all these kind of things, but we just use DocuSign. Now, the next thing is your payment processor, which is we use Stripe, and this is where you're going to actually be invoicing your clients. So, once let's just say you're taking a 50-50 split, we don't go lower than 50% at my agency. We take 50% of all of the models that we work with. Even if, we're signing models that are making 30, 40, 50K a month already, we're taking 50% because, we know what the value that we bring. So it just doesn't make sense for us to operate without 50% just because margins and all this kind of thing, right? So Stripe is what we use to invoice our models. So let's just say we are taking 50% of a model that's making 100K net a month. We will then invoice her for our 50%, which is 50K on Stripe, and then she will pay us via Stripe. There's a couple other things you can use, like Wise transfer. You could just use direct bank transfer if you want, but we've just found Stripe to be the easiest. We do also use Wise as well. So we just use a mixture of both depending on the client. Now, the next key software, believe it or not, is WhatsApp. Now, we've tried multiple professional, like sort of management softwares like Agency Flow and Slack and all these kind of things to like speak and communicate with our clients. We just found in this industry, WhatsApp is just by far the best in terms of communication. At the end of the day, the majority of people have WhatsApp. I think it has over 2 billion users. And, most of these girls, they're OnlyFans models, they all use WhatsApp. They can't be asked to log in and log out of a professionally set up, like client relations, like sort of software like Agency Flow, right? They're not logging in and checking their messages. They don't really care. Whereas WhatsApp, they're going to see the messages. You can just make a group chat with your team and them, or just you and them. And it's just a lot easier to manage everything. Send everything over WhatsApp, send the document, send the onboarding. We just use WhatsApp for everything and we don't use anything else. It just makes it a lot easier. We send out invoices there. Literally everything is done through WhatsApp at our agency. It just makes stuff a lot easier in this industry. Trust me on that one. Now, the next software is Zoom. Now, Zoom is going to be used to actually take the sales calls with these clients. You can also use WhatsApp for this as well. If you get their WhatsApp number, and, some girls might not be comfortable jumping on Zoom because it's a lot of pressure for a lot of models, getting the camera on, getting their makeup ready. So sometimes it can just be easier to WhatsApp them and just get them on WhatsApp as their lead. Let's just say you've been doing some outreach on Instagram and then, all of a sudden they're a hot lead, then you can just ring them on WhatsApp, right? Get their digits and ring them on WhatsApp and do the sales call over there instead. But Zoom is key as well. You're going to use Zoom for a lot of other stuff like team meetings or wherever you're going to use it for. But I would recommend getting Zoom. We still conduct a lot of calls with models over Zoom. And make sure you get the upgraded version, not the most expensive, just get the cheapest one that's paid, because otherwise your meetings are only going to be able to last 40 minutes, and after 40 minutes you'll just end the meeting. So the last thing you want is to be in a sales call with a model and the meeting just ends randomly, right? And then the last software that's sort of key is Google Workspace. So everything like your Google Drive, Google Docs, Google Sheets, Google Forms, that's just how we organize everything. We've got millions, not millions, but we've got a shit ton of Google Docs, shit ton of different Google Drives. We organize everything there, and it just makes stuff a lot easier. And I'll also touch on a shared album as well. Like our clients, we either have Google Drives for our clients to upload content to, or we'll do a shared album on iPhone. They can upload their content there as well. Depends on the different clients. Some prefer using Google Drive, some prefer using the shared album. So, you can mix and match and use both there. That's what we do at my agency. But like I said, docs and sheets are going to be key for tracking stuff or making guides or any of that sort of stuff for your clients is going to be key, right? Now, let's get into the setup. So the first step, possibly, arguably the most difficult brain farting part, is naming your agency, right? Now, coming up with a name, I know it can be, a difficult time. There's a lot of my students that I've coached get stuck on picking their name. Now, an easy way to solve this is to go to something like Shopify Business Name Generator and just type in agency or management as a keyword, and it's going to fire off a bunch of names. Now, an important part about a name, don't deep it too much. Don't think too hard. You, at the end of the day, you kind of make the name what it is. Like my agency, Melossom, didn't mean anything. It was just a random name. And now everyone in the industry kind of knows Melossom, right? So we've made the name into what it is. Now, it doesn't really matter. But the one thing that does matter is when you're picking a name, you want to try and make sure that the domain is available, the .com domain is available. So let's just say you're going with Melossom. If you then type in melossom.com when you're buying your domain for your website on, let's just say Google domain, and melossom.com isn't available, then it's not going to be that good, because .com is just the best domain you want, right? If you got .net or .xyz, it's not as good, not as professional for the actual like business email side of things, right? But yeah, so once you've done that and you've got your name and you've got the business email set up on, Google domain and all that sort of stuff, the next thing is going to be your logo and branding. Now, with your logo and branding, again, I would use Canva for this, right? This is where Canva comes in clutch. I would use Canva, which is the software I recommended in the last slide, and just come up with logo ideas, branding. Now, you can either go down the sort of branding route that we've gone down, I guess, which is more like, I guess, nightclub, strip club kind of vibe, like almost like Miami nightlife neon sign type of branding. Or you can go down the more minimalistic, luxury, high class kind of branding, right? And you want to pick like your branding colors as well. Like, as you can tell, like sort of my personal branding colors and my agencies is like this, right? Like the pinks and the blacks, right? Like offsetting like colors, and obviously the whites as well. Now, that's something to consider. And then the next thing you're going to want to do is set up your front-facing social. So the main front-facing social you need to worry about is setting up an Instagram page for your agency. Once that's set up, you're good to go, and that's where you're going to be mainly running everything from, right? That's where you're going to be doing outreach from, finding clients. So you want to make sure that your Instagram for your agency is solid, right? And that's pretty much the setup done, right? That's the basics of the setup, the blueprint of your actual agency setup. Now, the next phase is going to be finding clients. Now, phase 2, finding clients. Obviously, use social media to your advantage. There's a ton of models. I think over 500,000 new users join the OnlyFans platform every single day, and over 1,000 creators, actual OnlyFans models, join the platform every single day as well. So there's an abundance of clients out there, and as you can see, you don't need fucking the next, Bad Baby or the next Iggy Azalea or whoever it is that you want to, any of these big OnlyFans girls, Corinna Kopf. You don't need to go sign in these. As I showed you in one of the previous slides, that you can literally, sign models that are making nothing, and if you know what you're doing, scale them from pretty much nothing to, 7 figures in the year, right? So, like I said, you don't need anything crazy, but just use social media to your advantage. I'll give you a little tip. There's a platform called OnlyFinder, and you can use that to find OnlyFans models, but also just, find them online, reach out to them, and sign them to your agency that way. Now, another way, if you're not using social media to your advantage, is local girls. Maybe you know girls locally that do OnlyFans, and you can hit them with the same proposition, right? That you run an agency, and now you can help them scale their OnlyFans. Oh, you're making $5,000 a month? Okay, cool. I run an agency. I work with a lot of models like you. I can help you make, quadruple that in the next 90 days or wherever it is that your pitch is, right? And local girls can be good. Like, even go into like everyone knows that one Chad guy, right? That knows a bunch of fucking girls. There's endless opportunities in your local area, even recruiting at places like strip clubs and this and that. If you're that extroverted person that's good at communication with girls, then this can be perfect for you, right? Take advantage of your skill set. Like I said, if not, use social media to your advantage. Now, the next thing is going to be referrals. So like I said, everyone knows that one Chad guy. Referrals from him or referrals from friends or other agencies. Ask around and see and figure out who's doing OnlyFans. And once again, you can use onlyfinder.com to find girls in your local area that do OnlyFans. Now, the last part is purchasing model contracts. Now, realistically, this is an easy way to get models. There's a lot of sort of Telegram groups out there that they'll have agencies that sign girls that can no longer work with those girls for whatever reason. Maybe they just haven't got enough space, and they will then sell that model's contract. Obviously, the model has to agree to it, the agency has to agree with his contracts and everything in place. It's all legal, and they will potentially sell a model's contract for $500 or $1,000 or wherever it is. Sometimes you'll find models making $10K a month and their contract's being sold for $5K, and you can buy that, and then you get to work with that model, right? So there's a couple groups that you can look around, but I wouldn't honestly worry about that. And something to consider there is you will find good deals every now and again, but let's be honest, the majority, there's a reason an agency is probably selling a contract, right? And most of the time it's probably because they don't meet their agency's criteria to work with them. So it's hard you can find gems, don't get me wrong, but most of them, it's going to be pointless working and you're going to be wasting money. And if you do, let's just say spend $500 on a contract to work with a model, if she then leaves or wherever, you've wasted money, right? So I wouldn't start off with purchasing contracts. We've never purchased contracts, but there are people that do it. I'm just sort of making you guys aware of what is out there. But these are the main methods of finding clients. Now, the next part is the onboarding process, right? So this is where, you've found the client, you've used Calendly or you've used WhatsApp, you've found them on Instagram. Let's just say, for example, you're in contact with them, you've got their number or you've got their WhatsApp or you've got them to book a call on Zoom, and now you've booked the call, you're booking it, you've gone through that process. Then you're gonna, once they're on the call, you go through the interviewing process where you're actually interviewing them. Almost is the sales call, but you want to treat it more like an interview where you have the power and you're interviewing them for your agency to see if they're a good fit. Now, once you've done that, like I said, you're going to be answering any questions and objections on that sales call. So be ready, whether you're doing it on WhatsApp or Zoom, be ready. Whether you're doing it, in face, or like showing your face on Zoom or without the camera, just be ready. Then once you've done that, you want to then obviously send the contract. Once you're on the call with them, get them to sign it, send the contract via DocuSign, get their email, get their name, and then send that contract over to them, get them to sign it, close that deal on the call. Once it's closed, then you can send the onboarding documents to them. Like I said, the questionnaire, which is where you're going to be using Google Forms or Typeform and taking advantage of that, right? And that's like pretty much the entire onboarding process. So, you've found the client, you've messaged with her, you're in touch, she's agreed to jump on a call with you, then you're going to go through what your agency does, sign her there and then on the call, then you're going to onboard her with your onboarding documents, get her OnlyFans, all that sort of stuff, log in, and then that's where you're going to take over from there. And then obviously you can start phase 4, which is making money. Right now you've got a client, let's just say sign on a 50-50 contract, she's signed, everything's good, you're logged into her OnlyFans, everything looks good. Now is where you're going to start implementing marketing. Now, I would recommend that you only focus on one form of marketing to start rather than getting overwhelmed by multiple things. There's so many different marketing types. There's TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Reddit, dating apps, guaranteed gains, Clapper. There's so many different marketing methods that you can use for OnlyFans. I would stick to one at the start, and I've told this to all my students, and my students that listen to this have done better than all the other students. So, if you see my webinar and you've seen Stephen, who's one of my students, that's now doing, like crazy numbers a month. Within 3 months, he was making, 50 plus K a month. And now he's even further past that at the point of recording. He's crossed well over 100K. I've awarded him one of these 100K plaques and he's just crushing it. And he listened to me and he only focused on TikTok for 3 months. TikTok is by far the best platform out of all of these. So I would just go all in on things. But if you're really good at Reddit, then do Reddit. If you're really good at Twitter, then do Twitter. If you've got no experience on any of them, then go to TikTok. But the one you're most familiar with, the one you've got the most experience with, stick to that one first and get results with that. Otherwise, you're going to overwhelm yourself and you're going to try and wear too many hats and do too many things and spread yourself too far, right? So do not do that. Focus on one and just get used to it. Now, like I said, TikTok, you're just going to be marketing your model on TikTok, or if you're going to use Instagram, the same thing, right? You want to take advantage of these short form platforms. So TikTok, obviously, is pretty self-explanatory. You're just going to be uploading these OnlyFans style TikToks to your model. You're going to be sending her the TikToks to do, and then she's going to be copying them and uploading them on her page. Then you can also then repurpose those TikToks using something like SaveTix, saving it without the watermark and re-uploading them to Instagram Reels and Facebook Reels. And then, like I said, Reddit, again, is a different beast in itself, but that's another good platform you can use. And then Twitter, again, another solid platform. These are the top 5 platforms in my opinion. Now, dating apps are very complex. If you're someone that's brand new, or if you're someone that's new to dating apps, I would honestly stay away from dating apps until you're making, a good amount of money. They can get very expensive very fast. And I just would stay away from it. Like, even my agency are still on the edge with dating apps and slowly starting to implement it, but we just kill it with TikTok, man. But these are our main platforms right here. This is why I've listed them. These are the main. We use all these platforms for our models. TikTok and Reddit are the best ones, and then I would say the rest are also really good, like Instagram, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. But these are the 5 that we use on all the models. But we just started with TikTok. Then after we did TikTok and Reddit. Then we started implementing Instagram and Facebook Reels, and then we started doing Twitter. So we've slowly, over the past 2.5 years now, started slowly implemented. But we pretty much just did TikTok for the first 6-7 months. And yeah, I would just pick one, go all in on that, and be good at it, because if you try and do all of them, you're not going to be able to compete with the person who's watching this now and is just going to go all in on TikTok and become a TikTok expert. You can't compete with him if you're trying to do 5 different things, right? Now, if you're going to start with a business partner, then you can do 2, right? You can manage 1 each. If you're going to do this with a friend or a business partner, then one of you can handle TikTok, one of you can handle Reddit, or wherever you want to do there, right? But these are the ways that you're going to make money and get results for your clients. Once you've onboarded them, you need to start pumping out content on these platforms for your clients. So you're just going to be sending them the content, and then they're going to be pumping out the content, right? Now, for this, you can either get them to record the TikToks on their camera roll, and you can do a shared album and get them to send the camera roll to you, and you can upload them on your end, or you can just send them the TikToks, tell them exactly what to do, give them directions, give them the links, give them the sounds, and then they're going to be uploading it on their device on their end, and you're just guiding them, right? You're their manager, you're guiding them what to do, right? So it depends how you want to play. You can either take all the sort of job responsibility on and upload for them and caption and all this sort of stuff, or you can make a nice document, send them all the TikToks and stuff that you want them to do, get them to film it on their end, upload it on their end. You just tell them how to caption it, how to hashtag, when to post, and all these kinds of things, right? It's your job to guide them. At the end of the day, you're their manager, and that's what's going to get them results. Now, phase 5, the last phase, scaling your agency. Once you're making, 5, 10K profit every single month, you want to start to look to outsource, right? And the first roles you need to outsource for first is chatting. Now, chatting is super key and is one of the biggest parts of this entire agency, like in general. Now, chatting is where you're going to be making the majority of the money. And let me just take you back to this sort of screenshot. I don't know if it's on there. Yeah, right. As you can see, this model that did $74,000, $92,000 gross in April, did $24,000 in messages, $24,000 in subscriptions, and then around $67,000, $68,000 in messages and tips, right? Which is messages and tips are the same thing. So messaging is a big part of this business model, and you want your messaging down. Now, you can practice for yourself to start so you understand how to message, how to sell content to these guys. You're going to be making all the content in the message. You're going to be making all the money in the actual messages themselves. We don't ever put pay-per-view content on the wall. We specifically only sell pay-per-view content in the messages with the guys that are messaging us, right? Now, once you've done that, you want to know when should I start to hire that? So once you're comfortable, but you feel like, right, I can't really take on any more clients at the moment because I'm overwhelmed with the amount to do. I've got to chat for her, and I've also got to, run the marketing for it. This is getting difficult, but I am making 5 to 10K a month. That's when you want to start to outsource, right? Now, outsource chatting first. You can go to websites like Upwork or jobs.ph and hire sort of Filipinos for like $3 an hour just to get started, just to, they're not going to be the best chatters in the world, but they're going to be good enough for you to get by to scale your agency, and you can focus on the marketing side of things and hiring other talent, hiring friends, wherever you want to do it, and just go from there, right? So chatting is the first roles you're going to want to hire for. And then as you're making more money, you just sort of play it by ear, right? You want to hire roles that you no longer feel are sort of meant for you to do. If they become sort of menial tasks and you feel like you have higher leverage work to do elsewhere, then that's when you want to start to outsource those specific roles, right? So if you want to outsource a TikTok poster, or someone to do chatting, or someone to do Reddit for you, or wherever it is that you want to do, then you can start outsourcing that way, right? But the first thing you always want to outsource is the OnlyFans side of things, which is the chatting, because you don't want to be chatting all day, every day. It's good to start and you can make a lot of money and you can get to understand chatting, which is good because then you'll need to know that to train the chatters and give them tips and advice. But on Upwork and on jobs.ph, you can actually find people that are experienced with OnlyFans chatting. So, it's pretty good. Or customer service backgrounds and all this kind of thing, right? You want to be looking for those types of people. So they're the roles to hire for. Like I said, who to hire. You can either hire like Philippines, which is going to be the cheapest option, or you can even hire people that you know and bring people in that way that you trust. And like I said, way to hire is going to be on places like Upwork or jobs.ph. And once you're really scaling, you can go to platforms like LinkedIn and Instagram and really start to like build up a solid team. But like I said, this is going to be the main part of actually like scaling your agency and doing everything. So like I said, quick recap. The setup, Boom. Once you've got the setup, then you want to go on to finding clients and outreach. Once you've got that, you want to go on to booking the call, the sales call, the interviewing them, signing the contract, and then on the onboarding process, right? Once you've done that, you want to start the marketing, start bringing in, money, and getting your clients results. And then once you've done that and you're getting results and you're seeing stuff coming in, that's when you want to start to outsource your agency roles, like chatting, and you can start to scale in different ways, right? That's the main thing. That's like pretty much the entire OFM blueprint, right? You can go and run this play, and this is the blueprint of an OnlyFans business. This is the entire blueprint of this whole business broken down, right? So you can rewatch this, obviously go back, take notes, and this is all you need. So yeah, we can pretty much say right now, better than ever, it's cool and a great opportunity to become an OnlyFans manager, right? And you have those tools right now to actually go do that, right? From this blueprint, you now have the tools to go run that, help people, and make a shit ton of money like I have and many of my students have, right? But there are also people that are going to say, like, hey, Dylan, what's it look like to work with you directly? Or how can I get more access to you? Or how can I take this to the next level, right? So instead of leaving those of you that, who have that big ambition, that want to get to the next level, that are serious about not just making a killing, but actually thriving in this business, this is what I want to do, right? I want to hook you up. I'm going to show you some love. I'm going to give you a free transformation session. And what that looks like is you meet me, you meet my team, you meet my coaches. We find out exactly where you're at in the process. Have you started the business yet? Do you have it? Have you started making money? Have you not started making money? Are you brand new? We're going to find out exactly where you're at, and then also where you want to be, right? And we'll put together a map, a roadmap, if you will, and we'll craft that for you. And if you want to take it and go run the play yourself, then awesome, more power to you. But if you want to work with me directly and see how we take this thing to the next level, then we can talk about that as well, right? We have limited spaces. There's only so many people that we can actually service. And like I said, we want to make sure that we genuinely actually help and service everyone that we take on. So we're not just like wasting people's time and not showing them like the sort of showing them the stuff that they actually need and paying attention to them, right? So, we want to make sure that we actually help and service everyone that we take on. So, don't wait, book a call, get on the calendar, and let's give you that free transformation session. And guys, I'll see you on the other side.